Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 104 of the Toonami Escape Podcast. I'm Greg Zeno. Tonight we have C. Kohler
Hello.
and Moradin. Or is it
Hey.
just Mora now?
There's more, I guess.
Mora. C. Kohler, B-Dubs is taking sick leave. I didn't give him that, so I'm going to have to give him a talking to when he gets back. It's not in
He
his
said
benefit package.
he said he was about to throw up.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, he can join later if he feels better. Probably not, though. Anyway, was there any news that you guys know of this week?
I can't think of anything.
Just the Fully Cooley stuff, if you guys don't mention that.
Yeah, they showed another one focusing on the English voice actors, but I didn't really pay attention. Sorry.
Pretty neat.
It was good. I mean, for what it was.
So here's the thing. I find it really hard to really keep up with the more secondary stuff they put out. I get my fill of Toonami between the block and now, and then otherwise it's like I don't want to think about it more.
I don't know. I kind of find behind the scenes anime stuff pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I think it's kind of neat to see it, and especially there was, we get to hear some of those characters for the first time.
Oh yeah. Well, I did not pay attention really. So I know that they probably showed off what's her face, the rocker girl with the car.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna make a prediction too. I bet that's like Haruko's sister.
Sure.
I'm gonna just say it right now. We'll see if I'm right or not.
Well, we'll see about that. I mean, even if it's true, maybe it won't even make sense and you won't even realize it.
Yeah.
Fully coolly. Anyway, you guys ready to talk about Dragon Ball Super?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Dragon Ball Super Episode 63. Don't you disgrace Saiyan cells? Vegeta's fierce battle commences. In which Vegeta is just finally pissed that this dude is just running around in a Saiyan body. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how this episode started.
I also forgot.
Isn't it the stuff with Mai trying to shoot Black with a bullet?
Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
Because that'll totally work.
Yeah, I get that they're desperate, but I would think that, and they make a claim that this bullet was made by Bulma, but still, it's a bullet.
It's 4 times more bullety than a regular bullet. That's cool. Anyway, they somehow tracked them to the fuck cabin.
You mean Kirito and Asuna's cabin?
Yeah. And so they try to shoot him and it doesn't work because, come on. Guns in Dragon Ball.
I first thought she was aiming for his earring because it kind of zoomed into that.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. It seemed like it might have been interesting if she had hit that.
Yeah, that could have been someone should have suggested that. Go for the earring!
It was, I will say, as pointless as it was, I was surprised that it actually hit him. I thought he was going to just in the middle of the conversation, just reach out and grab the bullet,
I mean, he was just staring deep into his own eyes to pay attention.
He was love struck.
Anyway, what else wasn't? Boy, this is another fighting episode where it's like, man, some fighting happened.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball.
I didn't even take notes on this one. I can't remember even what happens. You're right. It's just.
Well, Trunks showed up and saved Mai and started fighting Zamasu.
And then everyone else showed up again.
Oh, that's right. And then he blew up the spaceship, and then Bulma
that was great.
Created a laboratory for herself.
Like she was just like pocket warehouse.
Right.
I just love how immediate Black just focused on the time machine and blew it up.
Yeah, that was kind of refreshing. It does make me wonder though, like if she had all that time to prepare like a second workshop, could she have just like created a second time machine? Or is that too complicated?
I think what she had was like literally the tools to make another time machine.
Well, regardless, the other thing that was broken was the pot.
Oh yeah. So much for that.
Well,
it's okay.
I don't think we're done with that though, because she hands Trunks some super glue and is like, "Here, fix this."
The Supreme Kai showed up.
Oh yeah, he showed up to be like, "Hey, I'm still useless. Bye."
Oh, that was funny. The Supreme Kai said something like he was gonna help, and then like, what was it that like Goku? He's like, "Sure, whatever." He says something like that.
Yeah, sure, bud.
Like they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Yeah.
Nope. Anyway, yeah, Dragon Ball continues to be a show where individual events just melt into one little thing.
Well, I mean, it's so far Super's been pretty good. I will say though, like this part of this arc is kind of starting to drag a little. I mean, I've enjoyed this arc up until now, but it's starting to be like, okay, come on, what's the next thing to happen? I mean, we were joking last week about the fact that they keep time traveling. It's like, just pick a time and finish this.
I'm also kind of wondering why they're like, I guess the time travel isn't exact enough, but they keep, instead of just coming back like instantly, just come back literally the instant you left.
Yeah.
Just so it's like, I'm back.
Oh, I mean, like, come on, we could. Why aren't they like preventing things with time travel? I mean, like, I guess it has to do with the fact that this is like, this is the part I don't get. They were so desperate to save this timeline. It's weird.
Well, here's the Trunks they know.
Yeah, I guess. But that may explain why they don't go back and fix things, because then it would create another timeline.
Yeah, it would. So I mean, it basically like you're never gonna fix it for everything. So
yeah. Until the Dragon Balls, and then they fix it.
Yeah. Anyway, like Supreme Goasu just shows up like, "Hey, what about the Super Dragon Balls?" And he's like, "Fuck those things." And he's like, "What?" I'm struggling to remember anything. Come on, give me something.
This is Vegeta had a pretty cool moment at the end.
What was that?
When he was beating on Black.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's probably not going to amount to anything because it's Vegeta, but at least he had a moment.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I do remember that. He finally got to say Prince of all Saiyans again.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while, at least in Super, since he said something like that.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, he also blew up the entire lookout building for no reason. So fuck you, Dende. Fuck your house. Anyway, Dragon Ball Super. It's Dragon Ball. Speaking of, it's Super Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z Kai. Dragon Ball Z Kai, the final chapter is episode 162. Share your spirit energy with me. I'm making a huge spirit bomb, yelled Vegeta angrily, and nobody did anything.
I mean, I think I said in the thread, I know where this is going. I mean, I don't know, but I have a guess. And it's no coincidence that Mr. Satan is there.
No,
put it that way. But it is kind of funny to see like Vegeta yelling at the entire population of Earth. Although I do find it hard to believe that if there was a giant booming voice coming from nowhere, that people would be so blasé about it.
They just listen to Bobbity screech about something. So
How do you just tune that out?
Right. Also, don't they remember what happened to them?
They do. Now they just don't care anymore.
That's a stretch.
Sure, but look, if Mr. Satan isn't yelling at me, I can't care. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going to learn, I think, quickly that what Vegeta is lacking is hype.
But I am the hype. Anyway, Fat Boo continues to fight Kid Boo, and they kind of boing around a lot.
Yeah. It's strange. They feel pretty evenly matched, although I thought like Fat Boo was supposed to be stronger.
No, because Fat Boo, when we were fighting him before, still had Kid Boo. Still plus Kid from
I think
Kid
the
Boo.
thing is Fat Boo before he split was stronger, but not this one.
And now Fat Boo has lost all of that evil Kid Boo stuff, and I think Fat Boo is now this Fat Boo is now the absolute weakest form of Boo.
Okay. Actually makes more sense now that I think about it that way. I like that King Kai can do something that the greater Kais cannot.
Yep. Oh, sorry. That's a phone call. Anyway, never mind. What did he do again? I'm sorry, I forgot.
He can channel people's voices.
Oh yeah.
And like Grandpa Kai or whatever was like, I don't have that power.
That's because you suck.
Yeah.
So the Namekians wish for the entire Earth to be brought back and for everyone to be brought back, and that's just like, yep, sure. And then it's like, what do we do with our third wish? And then King Kai's in the distance, bring me back to life, you assholes!
I actually don't remember what they do with the third wish.
I kind of feel like I know.
Yeah. Well, here's something. I was paying close attention to this, and either the show messed this up in the dub, or I just didn't hear it right, but I'm pretty sure I heard this right. Remember how Vegeta was all big about the fact that, like, oh, they have to make sure and wish everyone back, not just the people that Boo killed, because I killed people?
Right.
When Dende made the wish, he did not say that.
Well,
wasn't it that they'd wish everybody back but the bad ones or something like that?
They wished everyone back who died from the day of the tournament onward, except the really bad ones.
Oh, is that what he said? Okay.
Yeah. So congratulations, if you died in a random car accident kind of during the tournament, you're gonna get out of jail free card.
Yeah. And too bad if you died 12 hours earlier.
Yeah, fuck you, bro. Fuck you, bro. I'm sure it was tragic and shit, but we're not running a charity here. I'm sure someone would actually get pretty mad if they just were like, bring everyone back to life all the time. Because, like, you could just constantly gather the Dragon Balls and be like, when was the last time we used them? Everyone who died from then on, bring them back.
That would eventually cause problems, wouldn't it? Like, there would be, like, overpopulation and shit like that.
Yeah. I don't know. He may not. I think it's stated at some point that he's just like, natural causes, I can't do shit.
Oh.
So that would be a major limiting factor.
Well, of course, until the Namekians find another way to upgrade their wish machine.
Windows 10 is pushing an update. Sorry. Ugh. Pollen. Just love it. Anyway, what else was there in this episode?
Man, I really should take a notes this week.
I mean, what are you going to take notes on in Dragon Ball Z? Ooh, look at that kick and that punch and those multiple punches in that kick.
There was probably a couple of funny quips that I've forgotten. But
certainly not that great.
No. I think we've said basically what happened, and it's the episode ends basically with Vegeta just yelling at people more.
It's like, well, I'll yell at you louder then. It's like, keep at it, Vegeta, do it for a few hours, and maybe you'll annoy them into not sleeping. Anyway, enough of this Dragon Ball bullshit. You guys want to talk about My Hero Academia?
Yes.
That took a while.
Well, I was waiting to see if Moore was going to say something.
Is he here? Hello? Oh, he's muted. I'm sorry. Hello?
Sorry, something came up.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Anyway, I was like, man, he is quiet. No, he's muted. Anyway, let's talk about My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia Episode 2, What It Takes to Be a Hero. In the second half of the Chapter 1, Bakugo gets attacked by Oil Slick from the X-Files, and Deku's just like, I'm gonna throw a bag at you, and now he's good to be a hero. That was the very Cliff Notes version of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's a very good ending to a first chapter.
Yep. And it is very clear that that is exactly what it is. Like, just the ending scene of that is like, and Chapter 1. So what do you guys think about All Might's true wimpy form?
I think it's cool. I mean, I think it's a unique design. He's got like a very triangular face.
It's definitely a sharp contrast compared to his muscular form.
Yeah. He goes. He's just like Jesus Christ! It's the Crypt Keeper.
But also too, something I didn't know. I went back and read the first chapter. And in the chapter, they actually break the fourth wall, and I think a character jokes about the fact that All Might is actually drawn in a different way than the other characters.
I think this happens later.
No, it was in the first chapter. I saw it. I mean, I haven't read anything else really. And when All Might showed up, and he was like, you're drawn in a completely different way. And they do that in the show too. You can tell he has really thick outlines and shading and stuff. And yeah, when he turns into his deflated form, he doesn't have any of that.
Nope.
And I think it's neat. It's a neat little touch.
Apparently, there's a villain out there called Toxic Chainsaw.
Yeah.
That sure is a villain name. Anyway, All Might's pretty depressed right now.
Well, he was in the episode.
Yeah.
He was kind of beating himself up over the fact that he can't live up to the image that he's created.
Yeah, basically. He can only actually do hero work for about 3-ish hours a day, because that's the amount of time he can be super duper muscly man.
Yeah. Doesn't have a stomach, and his respiratory system's messed up, so.
Don't worry, the stomach, you don't need that. It's fine.
Apparently not. Somebody in the thread says that, if you get a gastric bypass or whatever, it's basically the same thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, Moradin, what else did you think about this episode?
I thought it was fine. What do you guys think of the pacing of the episode?
It doesn't bother me. I mean,
I think this episode is probably the one where the pacing is noticeable the most, but It's not too bad, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like if
I
you if
agree.
you're fine with the pacing in this episode, then the rest of the season will probably be fine for you.
Yeah, the first 12 episodes, I like everyone knows, like they kind of came out in a different manner than the rest of it, and so they're kind of filling time a lot.
Yeah, wasn't the first season like greenlit super early?
It wasn't really greenlit that super early. It's just they ended up getting a 12 episode order because time slot shenanigans, and then there was like, well, there's only one place in the first part you can possibly end it in 12 episodes, but it's not quite enough for 12.
Yeah, and I think also maybe also that they were, they wanted to be careful not to get too far ahead. They didn't want to catch up too quickly to the manga because you never know. It was such a new manga at the time.
Right.
And
They
it's like,
definitely don't have to worry about that now.
I guess
Oh,
not. Yeah.
nope.
But I mean, in the early days, you'd want to tread lightly just to be safe. Kind of feels that way to me. But I mean, like you said, and I said this last week too, that there's, they do a lot of flashbacks in this season because this is the only season I've seen, but they do a lot of flashbacks to fill scenes a little bit here and there, but it's never that big a deal. And I think the show moves at a pretty okay pace for the rest of the season. It's certainly not. I've seen shows with better pacing, but this one is not bad.
It's
Not
passable.
Black Clover.
No, it's not Black Clover.
No, or Dimension whatever,
Or
which is the opposite.
yeah,
One volume in an episode.
or Inuyasha, the final act.
Yeah.
That might be the king.
12 volumes per episode.
Yeah, that may be the. I remember that first episode. There was like that villain character. It's like, hey, it's me. Remember me? I'm dead now. It's like, okay, bye. Anyway, so yeah, All Might is strong. He punched, and then the weather changed.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember when I saw this and I thought, man, that is so cool. And I had completely forgotten that Saitama had done the same thing.
Look, if you're trying to compare the two, I'm sorry, but it's Saitama because he's a
Right,
gag
I know, but
character.
I'm just like,
His entire gag is that he's so powerful. He always wins.
right, but all I'm just saying, I'm not comparing them. I'm just saying like that was such a cool move. Like, I've never seen anyone do that. And then I had to remind myself, no, wait, I have seen someone do that before.
Anyway, I think Bakugo kind of apologized, thanked him, sort of, maybe, in the only possible way he can, which is yell and scream a bit.
You know what? I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think he did.
Right.
I think he literally just wanted to make sure that Deku did not think he saved him. That's just how much of an asshole this character is. Or full of himself, I should say. He's so full of himself that he can't let Deku have this at all.
Sorry, what was that, Mora?
Oh, I was just saying, you didn't own me.
Right.
I'm not owned. I'm not owned. As I shrink into a corn cob.
Which is even made worse by the fact that he was right, technically. I mean, Deku didn't really save him at all. He just gave All Might the ability to step up. But like at best, all he did was give him a moment of breath of fresh air. When his book hit that villain's eye, it's like suddenly Bakugo could breathe, and that's all he did.
So another thing we see in this episode is all the other heroes being like, ooh, my one weakness.
Yeah. I didn't mind that too much. I think the first time I saw this, I thought, wow, why are these guys so inept? They can't do anything. And then I think upon rewatching it, I realized that they kind of said it. It's like, you know what? It's just the wrong villains in the wrong place. Heroes. They just couldn't. They said it in the episode. None of them had the quirk to really beat this guy.
Yeah.
And
it's not like they were doing nothing either. They were rescuing other people.
True. Yeah. The only thing I would say is that like they didn't step up to self-sacrifice like All Might said. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the only thing they didn't do is they weren't willing to just run in and risk their lives to save Bakugo, which was about it, outside of that. But it was, it's life and death for all of them, I guess. But like
That's it. That's,
yeah. And yes, for someone on the thread who was wondering, yes, Mount Lady can only change between her full size and her normal size. She can't change in between, which is why she couldn't get into the alleyway.
That's correct. Yeah. My one weakness, a one-lane street.
At least she did something though when she shielded a bunch of people when the attack was happening.
Anyway, get used to All Might making a whole bunch of overly dramatic entrances. Like, because at the end of the episode, he's just like, "I'm here!"
I like that.
Anyway, he's there to deliver a very important message. Yes, you can. Episode ends. I had no idea where I was going with that. I'm sorry.
When I saw this, it kind of bothered me a little bit that Deku wasn't more like excited by what was happening. Instead, he was just sort of bawling his eyes out. But then I was reading the thread, and there were people who were like, "Oh man, this always chokes me up when I see this scene." So maybe this scene just doesn't work as well for me. But I mean, I appreciate it. But on the other hand, I was kind of wanting him to stand up and be like, "Yes."
He basically was telling you it's the thing he always wanted to hear.
Right, but he's just so like I said last week, he's just so easy to just balls his eyes out so much. It's like it's emotional, but man.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyway, Fooly Cooly Minute. Sometimes Fooly Cooly needs to explain some things, and in this case, they need to explain why Naota's dad was running around wearing a Nazi costume.
I don't have an answer for that one.
Other
than it just thinks it's like a war.
Okay, why not literally anything else?
I know.
Also, that one kid in the truck, his neck and head just straight up turned into a giant penis. It was very obvious.
Yeah.
In fact, this entire episode was just, that's a penis.
Yeah, that's just, this show is, I mean, like, it's a lot about that, just dropping little things like that in there.
Anyway, it's still good. Also, that dude with the eyebrows, man. Of course, this is another show where I'm like, I get to the end, it's like, what happened? Because a whole fucking shit ton happened, and I can't remember any of it.
Yeah, you'd have to watch it multiple times to let it sink in. It would take too long to explain.
I feel like I'd have to get to the point where I kind of knew every beat.
Yes.
Every shot, knew it shot by shot.
Yeah. And this show doesn't like pull any punches for like references and things like that. Like it, on one hand, I can understand how it like would be frustrating to watch, but on the other hand, I like this kind of storytelling from time to time where like they don't sugarcoat it for the audience. They're just like, look, these are what the characters would say to each other if they knew what they were talking about. And when it comes to Haruko and the commander, they know what they're talking about. It's just that as the audience, none of that's been explained to you. And it won't really all that be explained in the end. Some of it will, but not all of it.
Well, next week is a 45-minute long episode, so that'll be fun.
I never remembered the last episode being that long.
Yeah, me neither. I wonder if it's maybe somebody suggested in a thread that it might be because they're going to show more behind the scenes stuff as well.
Well, I guess it's not, the episode itself isn't 45 minutes, but it's enough that you need a 45-minute slot.
Yeah, it's probably like 5 or like 8 minutes longer or something. I don't know.
Oh man, pollen's getting to me real bad for some reason. Literally all of a sudden. I don't know if the rain is knocking all the pollen off, but you guys want to talk about JoJo?
Yep.
Sniffle. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, Battle in Egypt, Episode 36, Whole Horse and Mondada, Part 1. In this episode, Whole Horse is running around being like, what can Dio do with his superpowers? I've got a gun.
Well, I mean, he has a magic gun.
It's a magic gun. It's still a gun.
Yeah. No, that scene was excellent. I loved that more than anything else in this whole part has made Dio seem menacing to me. As a villain.
Menacing.
Yeah, but I mean, he just like the way he did not care, and also didn't care when he realized that Whole Horse was trying to kill him. He's like, I don't even care.
He's just like, oh, really, huh?
Yeah, he didn't like punish him or anything. He's just like, just go do what I said.
Like, he honestly seemed very impressed that Whole Horse, when he's like, all right, I'm actually going to pull the trigger now, he was just like, I'm going for it.
Yeah, I guess for someone like Dio, it's like, hey, at least you tried. You know, you're not a wimp.
It's like, damn, dude, you actually went trying to go through with it. That is impressive.
I think scenes like this are something that this season of the anime really needed more of, just with Dio at all.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Dio is like one of the best parts of the show, and we've seen so little of him.
He's barely he's barely there.
Yeah,
he barely has a presence. Which, I mean, I guess when he does show up, it really makes it more memorable. But still,
yeah, this season really operates on the less is more thing with Dio, where it's like, I don't know how great Dio would be if he was just constantly around. Just like every other fight, we're going back to, and now more of Dio sitting menacingly in his mansion.
Yeah. Well, that scene aside, like the rest of the episode was okay, like because it was basically a retread of what we saw before, except this time it's Whole Horse instead of the other guy. So just basically, he doesn't believe that Mondada's comic book can actually predict the future. And of course, as the audience, we know it does. And it was kind of funny to see like him thinking that the way to win is to stick his fingers up Polnareff's nose. That was kind of funny.
That is one of the best to be continued splash screens ever.
Yeah.
Just now what? Also, Mondada developed this like verbal tick where he says yes a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Did he do that not the first time?
I definitely do not think it was present the last time.
I don't remember that either. I remember thinking when we were watching it this weekend, I was like, was he doing that before? And the fact that I don't think he must mean probably didn't.
Like, they go so hard with it this episode that it's like, yeah, they definitely didn't do it before because you would have noticed.
Right.
Anyway.
I will say that, I mean, I don't care how much people love it. I hate the way his comic book is drawn and the way the endings it looks. Like,
oh man.
It's like off-putting.
That is the point.
I'd see a whole show animated like that.
Oh no. I couldn't watch it, man. It just looks awful.
Okay, if you have to, if Bass Forever has to watch Kickheart, you have to watch an entire episode of Mondada's comic book adventure.
Yeah, that would be punishment. I mean, I think in a tongue-in-cheek way, it's funny, but it's just like I don't know what Araki was trying to do. Was he trying to make something that looked so terrible you would want to look away?
Maybe.
Anyway, I'm just getting that off my chest. I hate it. I'm so glad. I'll be so glad when that's not coming back.
Also in this episode, Whole Horse is here to respect women.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like that entire scene where it's like, kick this woman in the neck and she'll give you her jewels. He's just like,
right.
No, dude, look, I respect women. Even if they're really ugly, I don't punch them. We gotta respect women, Madonna.
So, just out of curiosity, when he did go to kick that woman, did he or did he not know the scorpion was there?
I don't think he did. I think he just had to know if it was true or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Even if there was a scorpion, it's like you couldn't. Maybe don't do a flying jump kick.
Well, I think the whole point was that, like, if he didn't get it off her right away, she could die. Because the guy, like, her husband or boyfriend or whatever, was like, this would have killed her in an instant.
Like her bodyguard or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what that guy was.
And then she's just like, thank you. I am a video game NPC. Take all of my jewels.
Yeah. This is the one thing, like, well, not the one thing, but one of many things that JoJo does really cleverly, where it'll set up a premise and you're like, how is this going to work? And then it comes up with a clever way where it's like, oh, she had a scorpion on her neck. I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah. Such oh yeah, it's like just like the whole entire this entire thing is just like, stick your fingers in Polnareff's nose. They all die.
Yeah, I feel like we're missing some frames there in the comic book.
I feel like we're missing an entire comic book.
Yeah. How do you go from that to just they're all going to be bleeding to death?
It reminds me of those drawings of like drawing a circle and then the next page is like a full blown like amazing drawing or something.
How to draw an owl. Step 1, draw a circle. Step 2, draw the rest of the fucking owl.
Right.
Anyway, guys want to talk about Hunter x Hunter?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter episode 95, Grudge and Dread. In this episode, we begin with Moral and Knuckle having a little tit for tat with Cheetu, who is very fast. But he can't run away from math.
Yeah. I did like seeing him get a little frustrated, though, because he's been such a smug punk this whole time.
I like that you can now totally introduce APR with menacing music.
Something that I didn't know, though, until now, at least I don't remember, was that the Nen powers have, like, range limits, sort of.
Yeah, so if Cheetu gets outside of Knuckles' range limit on that thing, he will stop accruing interest. However, APR will not leave.
Yeah.
And it kind of serves as like a tracker for them.
True, which is also kind of a neat side effect. Yeah. Or useful, at least.
So they can just go fuck up Knuckle at any time. Or Cheetu.
Yeah.
Also in this episode... Oh, sorry, Moradin, were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say, last episode of our podcast, I said I don't understand how Knuckle can really do, like, how he could fight Cheetu, but I guess I was just kind of underestimating their, like, tactics, like the ability from them. Like, he had, like, they used, like, the smoke, like, clones to trick them and stuff.
Shadow clones,
basically. Yeah. And then, you know, I think I also take for granted too that Knuckle just literally can hit really hard.
Knuckles there to punch things very hard and deduct interest off of your mortgage.
Yeah.
Anyway, also in this episode, everyone's going to the Republic of East Gorto, and Gon and Killua get to come along because the entire thing was the entire training was for them to be allowed into the NGL. But they're not in the NGL anymore, so that's out the window. So that entire training arc was a waste of time.
Well, no.
It wasn't a waste of time, but it was like, oh, the second, like, they failed But the second that would matter, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. All that mattered was that they would be stronger. And oh boy, is Gon stronger.
Oh yeah. So Moral makes a bad decision, and he decides to just straight up tell Gon, imagine I hurt Kite, come at me with intent to kill, and then Gon's like, all right, I'm going to fucking kill you. And he's like, oh shit, I have fucked up.
Yeah, that was... I'm not joking when I say I think that was one of the best scenes of this show I've seen. It was amazing.
This episode is honestly one of my favorites in the series, and like I really think it has a lot of great scenes like that, like the scene where Gon first confronts Kite, Zombie Kite.
Yeah,
that was a really great scene.
Not just emotionally, but also like how it was animated.
Yeah, the sketchy look to it.
Yeah. And this scene too at the end when Gon is about to unleash deadly fury and like, Killua just calms him down. And then I like too that like Gon realizes after he snaps out of it, he's like, oh my God, I would have killed you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Also, he can just straight up tell this like Nen expert, oh man, I'm so sorry. I would have straight up killed you.
Yeah, and the Moral didn't say anything. He's like, yeah. I think everyone in the room suddenly realized how much stronger he was in that moment. I actually really thought it would take a lot longer I thought it would take them a lot longer for them to get stronger, but it seems to have happened pretty quickly.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess in the show it's been a month, but for us as viewers, it's only been a couple of episodes.
And they were training with Bisky for a few. Well, was it a few weeks or a couple months?
They weren't able to defeat Knuckle and Shoot, but they did, I think, get a lot stronger. Also, Killua took that pin out, so now he can just be like, I'm free to fuck people up.
Well, yeah, the Killua getting stronger is just sort of like a freebie. It's Gon, really, that got stronger that surprises me. Because he wasn't really, even for the last month, to even use his Nen at all.
So I don't think they've gotten stronger since that last month, since he's spent that entire time not using yet Nen. But I do think like they weren't good enough to beat Knuckle and Shoot, but they still got really strong.
I think they have to have been stronger than Knuckle and Shoot now, though, right?
I feel like no.
Huh.
I don't.
But strong enough to kill their Knuckles' own like leader?
Well, I don't know if he could have actually killed him. I think he was trying to, at least.
It's like
he was intending to kill him.
Moral didn't think he could even get close, and then realized he could, or something. I mean, I don't really. The way I took that scene is like Moral was like, "Oh man, if I had let him attack me, I would have died."
I think he just had his guard down. He wasn't expecting Gon to do something like that.
Okay. Regardless, I think they're stronger now, strong enough to probably fight ants again.
If Gon came at Moral, and Moral just kind of stood there and tried to take it, like Gon has enough pure power that he would get murked. Like in an actual fight, probably not.
Yeah, there'd still be like tactics and skills that these experienced Nen users would have.
But I think there's no way Moral could tank a full power, like full rage Gon blast.
Right. That's what I meant. Yeah, I feel like it would have killed him if he had just closed his eyes and said, hit me. I think, though, you're right that he also probably in a real fight would have dodged it or found another way to get around it.
Like he would have had smoke out and shit.
Right.
Anyway, Palm is also here, just kind of in the background the entire time, and nobody seems to acknowledge her.
I love it. It's actually kind of the really funny little like thing to have happen, because it keeps happening. She's just like in the shadows with little hearts coming off her.
Black hearts.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, that's exactly the right amount of Palm, in my opinion.
Just kind of in the background.
Yeah.
Not just kind of standing right there in the foreground, just being like, I want to go on a date with Gon.
Yeah, I think she's over that phase.
Yeah, now she's back into her like master or her mentor or whatever, classes guy.
Yep. Anyway, was there anything else about Hunter x Hunter?
They're kind of just setting everything in motion. Like they finally paired off on who's fighting the royal guards.
Yeah, the extremely shonen. All right, here's this fight, and then this fight, and then this fight.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense though, even from a tactical thing to do. I mean, each of these guards is strong, and then of course the old dude is going to try to take on the king, which is the only person probably capable of even attempting that.
Yeah. Also, the king, like the totally not dead leader of North Korea, is like, everyone in the country come to the castle on this day so you can definitely not be eaten by ants.
Meanwhile, you could see the puppet on TV.
Yeah, if you can use Nen, if you were like using whatever that Nen technique is to focus it in your eyes, you could just be like, oh, okay.
I think. I'm never mind. I'm not going to ask that question. But I will say this. I'm not asking for an answer here. But I think that puppet thing is probably P2's Nen ability. But I don't know yet because it hasn't really been revealed. But that's my guess.
Wait,
And
hasn't it?
I don't think so. I mean, the only reason I would think that is because that same thing was controlling Kite, and we know that P2 was doing something with Kite before, but I don't think it's straight up been explained that that's her Nen power. It could be anyone's, as far as I know, any of the other royal guards, but I mean, I wouldn't think it would be the king's power.
I think we have seen Nefer P2 using the puppet master thing.
Okay. Well, then that makes sense.
Because
I just don't remember.
Spoiler alert, it is, because I feel like they did just say that.
Okay. Well, yeah. So that must be her power. I thought her power was going to be different. I thought it was going to be something based on science or something, but whatever.
Well, it kind of is because she, like, when she first developed it, like her whole thing is she wanted to fight Kite again, so she thought of a way to kind of reanimate him, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that all kind of makes sense now that I think about it. But yeah. So that dead dude is basically being, Weekend at Bernie's, basically, to get people to come to the city so that the ants can feast on him.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, guys, want to talk about Black Clover?
If I can remember it.
Black Clover, episode 22, Wild Magic Dance. This episode is basically a whole bunch of the completely forgettable, like, Magic Knight dudes running around chopping off the heads of zombies who just kind of stand there and don't do anything. And that's the entire episode.
Yeah, it felt like most of the episode, from what I remember, was like each of these new characters showing off their ability.
And they really want you to think those abilities are cool. They spend like the entire episode on it.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, this is the episode where it's like, check out how cool these characters are! And the audience is like, what?
Well, weren't you guys shaking in your boots at the arrival of the menacing zombie known as Jimmy?
Steven pointed out how this guy is just straight up just looks like Maximilian Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's like, oh, great. Anyway,
man.
I've got nothing on this episode because it's Black Clover.
I will say this, as kind of mind-numbing and whatever it is, just to see these characters do their thing. I actually don't mind that as much as what I really don't like in this episode is this villain who is just like the most generic you can be. Like, he is so like, I hate the Clover Kingdom. I will kill everyone. And that's it.
You deserve to die because I am strong and you don't think so.
Yeah. You're all weak. I will kill you, and I'll be powerful. It's just like the most basic of villain you can have. And so it's not entertaining to watch him.
He's not even a villain. He is literally, he's a creep. Like a little creep from Dota.
Haven't pretty much all the villains in the show been like that, though?
Yes.
I mean, they've tried to give some of them like backstories, but this guy so far is just, he doesn't even have that.
I'm sure they're going to try to make us care about him.
Maybe.
Yeah, there'll be like some token attempt at, oh, there was a sister and shit.
And I mean, like, as far as like things that happened outside of that, the only other thing I can really remember is that like Noelle got over her like fear again to use her water powers and ended up saving that little girl, which is again kind of a beat that we've seen before, but they're just doing it again now. So that happened. The other Magic Knights still can't believe that Asta can go around doing as much damage as he does, even though it should be evidenced by the fact that he can nullify magic, that he can pretty much beat anyone.
Is my opinion. Just.
But let's also say this, though. Another notable thing about this episode, unfortunately, was that it is one of the worst looking episodes I think we've seen so far in this series. Like, the animation in this episode was bad.
Lots of stills with...
Like, people were talking like they're just moving the cell. Like, if this was cell animated, which it isn't, but if it was, it's just they're just moving them across the camera. Like, stuff is just zooming in, like enlarging things. It looked like flash animation sometimes.
Yeah,
it was
the
really
zombies might have had like 2 frames of animation at most.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap looking.
Here's what every zombie does: they flop to the left, and then they flop to the right, and then they repeat.
Like the effects animation was, I mean, it was fine, I guess. It wasn't terrible, but yeah, the zombies were really bad.
I think my favorite of my quote-unquote favorite of the supposedly impressive spells these super powerful mages were like whipping out is like, here's the fat guy who controls glass, I guess. Okay, what fancy thing is he going to do with glass? Oh, he does the same thing everyone else does, which is raise some spikes from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same spikes that people who control steel / earth / diamond / and literally anything. It's just like, okay.
And I mean, I hate to harp on this, but like, it should be obvious to anyone that this show is kind of poorly written when, like, that character, for example, the fat character who loves food, is like, he cannot speak a line of dialogue unless he's mentioning food. Like, everything comes out of his mouth is about, I will treat you to a sorbet if you help me. It's just like, how thick are you going to lay this on? Come on, man.
I wonder if there's a machine learning algorithm in there somewhere.
It's just like, give your characters a little bit more than just this one, like, trope. So yeah, Black Clover. That's it wasn't nothing really memorable about the episode. Lots of battle, but then kind of, yeah.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
What's up?
That Hawaii volcano might about to like actually explode. Anyway, never mind. Whatever. Enough about volcanoes. Sorry to our Hawaii audience. Is there a Hawaii audience? I'm sure there has to be. It definitely airs there, right?
Yeah, I would assume.
Anyway, Naruto Shippuden. Naruto Shippuden, episode 202, Racing Lightning. In this episode, the Hokage continues to hate things that aren't doors as he blasts through a wall and then the floor.
Yeah, I like him.
Also, I said Hokage, but I meant Raikage.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
I can't be the only one that is totally on board with the Raikage.
No, I'm with you, man. He's a breath of fresh air. I like his no nonsense. I'm going to punch people because I'm a ninja.
I am a punching ninja.
He's also like really strong and knows it and isn't afraid to flaunt it and doesn't need to like have a speech about it. He's just all action, which is fun.
He starts out at gonna punch you.
That's it.
Yeah. And like Sasuke's dream team they're not doing much against it.
The dream team.
You got
Karen just hiding behind a pillar.
Yes, I was gonna say it's like you got the one dude who transformed to get his ass handed to him. Sasuke putting up a little bit of something. Sword guy's out fighting another sword guy or something, and Karen is just like wetting her pants up in the rafters hiding.
She's
not like is she even like a combat ninja at all?
I don't think so.
See, I'd be willing to give her a pass if that's all she's used for is like reconnaissance type stuff. I wasn't sure if she's supposed to be a good fighter or not. Unfortunately, this is Naruto, so I can't tell if a female character is supposed to have any kind of ability.
The answer is no.
Outside of lusting after a guy.
The answer is always no. Well, hell, okay, honestly, Tamari. Like, she doesn't get a whole ton of fights, but remember Gaara's sister.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, there are a few side characters who are good female combatants, but they don't get any screen time, really.
And that's probably the only reason they actually remain good, to be honest.
Yeah, if he had given them any more story, they probably would have just fallen into the same trap.
I like that. I kind of was like, okay, cool. I liked the fake out where it's like, did he get the Raikage? No, fucking idiot. It's the fucking Raikage, and this is a dumb, stupid idiot who makes a bunch of...
But he can turn into flamethrowers. Basically.
Turn into flamethrower no jutsu.
Remember that time when Sasuke just completely killed a bunch of people?
Oh yeah, he just starts murking all these samurai, and it's like, Sasuke, he's my friend. I have to bring back Sasuke. Please forgive Sasuke. No.
Yeah, I'm sure this is going to come up later.
Look, the reason I am completely 100% on Team Raikage is because he is completely 100% not on Team Sasuke. In fact, he is on Team murder the shit out of Sasuke.
So the dude, the weird flower guy who's like half a face guy, is he half dead now?
I believe he's just actually putty.
So it didn't affect his real form?
I think he's just like, oh, sure, whatever, I'm dead. Sure, totally.
Okay. I would have thought like he lost half his body or something, but...
I mean, look, to this day, the series is over. Still nobody knows what the fuck Zetsu is or does.
Yeah, I've seen this entire series and I don't know what the fuck he is.
Yeah, I get the impression sometimes that Kishimoto made things up and didn't really have a plan to explain any of it.
Zetsu is shockingly way more like tied to the overall events of Naruto going forward, and still nothing about him makes any fucking sense.
Well, we're definitely in full eye hack mode. We've got Sasuke. What do they call it? Genjutsu?
Yeah, Genjutsu.
When they trick each other into seeing something, yeah. We're getting Genjutsu battles now, and
AKA, nuh-uh, no, you nuh-uh.
Yeah, and I guess Sasuke ended up making that one guy freak out to the point that he froze up. I mean, let me instead of talking about the details, I'll just say that like I think it was entertaining. Like I'm not 100% in, but I'm back on board for watching Shippuden because this seems like the kind of stuff I would want this show to do.
Ninja Mr. T is running around punching people, so that's good.
Yeah.
I unironically enjoy this arc, to be honest, just for how batshit it is.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's basically that. It's like you know what? This feels like we're not trying to do stupid comedy. We're doing ninja stuff. They're showing off cool powers. The fights look cool. And I definitely do like to see Sasuke get beat up. So I'm in.
Somebody said something about really like dumb about Donzo's eye powers this episode, and I was like, because oh boy, it's coming. I mean, I'm sorry I'm doing this hinting thing, but it's not something you would care to not have. It's so dumb. It's just so magnificently dumb. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get there.
All right, well, don't spoil it. I want to feel the full breadth of the surprise.
Anyway, does anybody else have anything about Toonami this week?
I will say that the Space Dandy episode is okay. It's not one of my favorites. It's just sort of
probably
like, okay.
Probably one of the weaker ones of season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't next week the really weird, like the super weird? Isn't next week the Yuasa one?
No, next week is, I don't know, maybe it's about fish.
Yeah, that's the Yuasa one, I think.
Yeah, its animation style is really weird.
Sounds like Yuasa. Anyway, so I have nothing to say about Ghost in the Shell this week. I'm just kind of glad that it's almost done.
Mm-hmm. I
hope that whatever happens after it ends, I can go to bed at 2:30.
Have you not been enjoying it?
No, it's a really good show. I also really wish I could go to bed at 2:30.
It's definitely not a great show to be watching at that time of night anyway.
Like, I would like that extra hour and a half of sleep, please. Now watch as they are like, Big O Season 2! Not only do you have to watch Big O Season 2 at 3:30 in the morning, you also have to cram in Season 1. Or just not watch it.
Yeah, or just that. Maybe you just have to fall back on your DVR at that point.
But I don't have a DVR.
Oh, okay.
Also, I don't even know if Big O Season 1 is streaming legally anywhere. Let me check that really quickly.
I don't know.
No, I don't think it does.
Weird animes in limbo.
I don't think Big O is stream.
Yeah, I mean, I think, isn't it wholly owned by Toonami? Or is it like
only Season 2?
Only Season 2. Oh, okay. That's a thing, man, isn't it? It's like there's a lot of shows like that where like Season 1 was a thing and then Toonami had a Season 2 made.
Yeah, then it's going to be like that with Fully Coolly. I think they just have the whole stuff all the time, forever. And it should be the same way with Samurai Jack.
Right.
I'm still. Yeah, I don't think it's streaming anywhere. I think it's. Oh, it was a Bandai property, which means it definitely got lost in something, some brouhaha somewhere. Except Season 2. Anyway. That'll about do it for this episode of the Toonami Escape podcast. Thank you, Mora.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Seacaller.
No problem.
We'll see you guys next week for episode 105. Thanks, everyone. Good night.